Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready for a story that's going to hit you right in the feels. We're diving into a tale of betrayal so raw, so personal, that you'll feel every single emotion alongside our narrator, Mia. Imagine dedicating your life to being the responsible one, always bailing out your younger sister, always forgiving her endless antics. Now, imagine that same sister trying to ruin the happiest day of your life, your wedding. This isn't just about a squabble, it's about years of manipulation, a massive betrayal of trust, and one sister's ultimate, meticulously planned revenge. You are not going to believe what Mia did when she finally reached her breaking point. So grab a tissue, get comfortable, because this story is a deep dive into toxic family dynamics, unforgivable actions, and the sweet, sweet taste of justice. Let's get into it. My entitled sister stole our wedding fund and sabotaged my reputation with my fiancé's family, so I exposed her in front of everyone at the rehearsal dinner. Her face when the projector screen lit up? Absolutely priceless. I gave my entitled sister, Chloe, a lot of chances. More than she deserved, probably. My entire life, it felt like I was picking up her pieces, or worse, just living in her shadow while she wreaked havoc. But when she decided to target my wedding, the one truly happy thing that was finally mine, that's when I knew she had to go. And I made sure everyone saw exactly who she was. Let me start by saying that Chloe wasn't always a monster. When we were little, she was just my annoying younger sister, always wanting to play with my toys, always getting into trouble. But even then, there were hints of the entitlement to come. If she wanted my Barbie, she'd just take it. If I complained, she'd cry, and Mom would tell me to be the bigger person. I learned early on that it was easier to just give in. As we got older, it escalated. In high school, Chloe was the popular one, always at parties, always with a new boyfriend. I was the quiet, studious type, poring over books, dreaming of escaping our small town. She'd often borrow my clothes without asking, only for them to return stained or torn. My junior year, I saved up for months to buy a designer purse, a really classic one. I used it once. Chloe took it to a party, spilled red wine all over it, and then tried to blame me for leaving it out. Mom, again, said it was just a purse and suggested I let Chloe express herself. I felt my blood run cold, but I was so used to it, I just cleaned the purse as best as I could and never used it again. It wasn't just material things. Chloe had a knack for charming people and then using them. I had a crush on a guy in our senior year, Mark. We'd been talking for months, and I thought something real was happening. Then Chloe swooped in, flirted with him relentlessly at a party, and they were together a week later. She knew I liked him. When I confronted her, she just shrugged. He liked me more, Mia. What can I say? I'm just naturally more appealing. I was heartbroken, but again, I let it go. It was easier than fighting her and getting tangled in her drama. After high school, I moved an hour away for college, the first step in creating a life separate from Chloe's chaos. I worked hard, graduated with honors, and landed a decent job in marketing. Chloe, on the other hand, bounced between jobs, always complaining about her bosses, always needing money. Our parents, who always seemed to see her through rose-tinted glasses, would call me, "Chloe needs help with rent this month, Mia. Can you spare a few hundred?" Or, "Her car broke down, and she needs to get to work. Can you lend her your car for a few days?" And like a fool, I always did. I loved my sister, despite everything. I kept hoping she'd mature, that one day she'd be the kind of sister I could lean on, not just the other way around. Then I met Liam. He was everything Chloe wasn't, kind, stable, honest, and incredibly supportive. He saw me, not just the responsible older sister, but me, Mia. We dated for 3 wonderful years, and then he proposed. It was perfect. We were having dinner at our favorite Italian place, candles, soft music, all of it. I said yes, tears streaming down my face. Finally, something truly wonderful was happening in my life, something Chloe couldn't touch. Or so I thought. When I told my family, everyone was thrilled, even Chloe, surprisingly. "Oh my God, Mia. This is amazing," she shrieked, hugging me tightly. "You have to let me be your maid of honor." I was hesitant. Chloe as maid of honor was a recipe for disaster. But she kept pushing. "Please, Mia? It's my only sister's wedding. It would mean so much to me to be a part of it." Mom chimed in, "Of course, Chloe should be maid of honor, Mia. It's only right." Liam, seeing how much it meant to everyone else, also gently encouraged me. So, against my better judgment, I said yes. And that was my first mistake. The moment she was officially maid of honor, Chloe transformed. She started telling everyone that she was planning the entire wedding. "Mia's so busy with work, so I'm handling all the details," she'd tell Liam's family, who were sweet, traditional people and just wanted to see us happy. She'd critique every decision I made, from the flowers to the bridesmaids' dresses. "That shade of blush washes you out, Mia. We should go with something more vibrant," she'd say, holding up a color that only looked good on her. She even tried to convince Liam that my chosen venue was too small and didn't reflect our family's prestige. Our family, mind you, was perfectly average. Then came the money. We had a joint wedding account for deposits and expenses. I'd put in most of the savings, and Liam contributed regularly. Chloe offered to help manage some of the smaller vendor payments, the baker, the stationery designer, the band's initial deposit. "You're so overwhelmed, Mia. Let me handle it." "That's what a maid of honor is for," she insisted. I gave her access to a specific portion of the account, trusting her. Fool me once, fool me a million times. Within a month, I noticed discrepancies. The band deposit hadn't gone through, but there was a significant withdrawal from the account. When I asked Chloe, she said, "Oh, I paid them cash. The online system was being weird. Don't worry about it." But then the baker called, saying her deposit was overdue. My stomach dropped. I checked the account again. Another large withdrawal, this time a few days after the baker's payment was supposedly due. When I confronted Chloe, she looked genuinely surprised. "What? No, I sent it. They must be mistaken. You know how unreliable those vendors can be." But something about her eyes, that fleeting flicker of panic, told me she was lying. I started doing my own digging. I called the vendors myself. The band confirmed they hadn't received a cash payment. The baker was still waiting. I cross-referenced the withdrawals with Chloe's credit card statements. Yeah, I had access to a shared family budgeting app that she conveniently forgot about. The dates matched perfectly with expensive purchases she'd made: a new designer handbag, a weekend trip with her friends, a ridiculously priced pair of shoes. She wasn't just borrowing money, she was stealing our wedding fund. She had taken nearly $5,000. I felt my blood run cold, then boil. This wasn't just about money, it was about her complete disregard for my happiness, for Liam's hard-earned savings, for our future. This was a direct attack. But the worst was yet to come. Liam's aunt, Martha, called me one afternoon. She sounded genuinely concerned. "Mia, honey, is everything all right? Chloe's been telling me some things. About you being really stressed and maybe having second thoughts about the wedding." I felt a sharp, cold jab in my chest. "Second thoughts? What are you talking about, Martha?" She hesitated. "Well, Chloe said you've been having cold feet, and that you even mentioned that Liam wasn't good enough for you." I felt a dizzying mix of disbelief and pure fury. "She said what?" Martha quickly backtracked. "Oh, maybe I misunderstood. Chloe just said you're under a lot of pressure, and she's trying to help." It clicked. Chloe wasn't just stealing money, she was trying to sabotage my reputation with Liam's family, painting me as a bad person, an ungrateful bride, while positioning herself as the loyal, supportive sister. This was her ultimate move, destroying my happiness by turning everyone against me. She wanted to be the hero, the savior, the one who stepped in when Mia couldn't handle things. This wasn't just about money or petty jealousy anymore. This was about destroying my life. I hung up with Martha, my hands shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. I called Liam, trying to keep my voice calm, but he heard the tremor. He listened patiently as I explained everything, the missing money, Chloe's lies to his aunt. "Mia, are you sure?" he asked, trying to be gentle. "It sounds extreme." He loved his family, and Chloe had been so charming to them. I knew I needed undeniable proof, not just my word against hers. That night, I didn't sleep. I realized that after years of letting Chloe get away with everything, I couldn't do it anymore. Not this time. This was my wedding, my future, and I wasn't going to let her ruin it. I wasn't just going to confront her, I was going to expose her. Publicly. I spent the next week meticulously gathering evidence. I pulled every bank statement showing her withdrawals. I recorded a phone call with the baker, who confirmed she'd never received payment from Chloe. I even subtly recorded a conversation with Chloe where she reiterated her lies about paying the vendors in cash and then launched into a passive-aggressive rant about how Mia just doesn't appreciate how much effort I'm putting into this wedding. I had texts from Martha, asking me again about Mia's cold feet, which I could use to show Chloe's insidious lies. My goal wasn't just to prove she stole money, it was to expose her character, her pattern of manipulation and deceit. The rehearsal dinner was scheduled for Saturday night, just 2 days before the wedding. It was a smaller, more intimate gathering at a beautiful restaurant. Liam's closest family, my parents, our bridal party, a few close friends. The perfect setting for a calculated takedown. I knew it would be painful for my parents, but they had enabled Chloe for too long. They needed to see the truth. I confided in my best friend, Sarah, who was also a bridesmaid. She was horrified but supportive. "Mia, this is insane," she said, "but honestly, I'm so proud of you for finally standing up for yourself." She helped me compile everything into a concise, damning presentation. We rented a small projector and a screen, making sure everything was discreetly set up in a private room at the restaurant. Liam, once he saw the compiled evidence, was furious. "I can't believe this," he said, his face a mask of disappointment. "I'm so sorry, Mia. We'll deal with her. But what about the wedding? The money?" "Don't worry," I told him, "I've already covered the missing deposits myself. The wedding is going forward. But Chloe won't be in it." Saturday night arrived. I wore a simple black dress, determined to appear calm and collected. Chloe, of course, arrived looking absolutely stunning in a shimmering blue gown, playing the role of the perfect maid of honor, greeting everyone with effusive hugs and wide smiles. She even made a point of embracing Liam's family extra warmly, probably reinforcing her false narrative. My parents looked happy, oblivious to the storm about to break. Dinner began pleasantly enough. Liam's family was genuinely excited, sharing stories and laughs. Chloe, true to form, kept making little digs at me under the guise of humor. Mia was so overwhelmed with wedding planning, "I practically did everything for her," she announced at one point, with a little giggle, glancing at Liam's aunt. I just smiled, a tight, cold smile, and excused myself to freshen up. This was my cue. When I returned, the projector was ready. I tapped my glass gently to get everyone's attention. Before we raise a toast to Liam and me, I began, my voice clear and steady. I wanted to share a small presentation. Something very important about the true meaning of family, and especially, the role of a maid of honor. Chloe raised her glass, beaming, totally unaware. "Chloe," I said, looking directly at her, "you said you practically planned this wedding. And you certainly made sure everyone believed that. But I think there are some details you forgot to mention." With that, I clicked a button on a remote I held hidden in my hand. The projector screen lit up, displaying a giant screenshot of my bank statement. It clearly showed a $2,000 withdrawal labeled wedding fund, Chloe, followed by an immediate purchase from a luxury handbag store. Gasps rippled through the room. Chloe's face went from beaming to ashen in a heartbeat. "Mia, what is this?" she shrieked, her voice cracking. "This is private. You can't." "Oh, but I can," I replied, my voice dangerously calm. I clicked again. The next slide showed the recorded call with the baker, clearly stating Chloe had never paid her. Then another screenshot of our shared budgeting app, showing her lavish spending that perfectly correlated with the missing wedding funds. Each click was a hammer blow. Her forced smile disappeared, replaced by pure, unadulterated terror. I then pulled up the text messages from Liam's Aunt Martha, clearly showing Chloe's fabricated stories about me having cold feet and calling Liam not good enough. Martha gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Liam's parents looked horrified. My own parents sat there in stunned silence, their faces slowly morphing from confusion to profound disappointment. "You didn't just steal from our wedding fund, Chloe," I continued, my voice unwavering. "You tried to poison my relationship with Liam's family, and you tried to ruin everything I've worked for. For years, I've been picking up your pieces, bailing you out, letting you get away with whatever you wanted. But this time? This time you went too far." Chloe finally found her voice, a high-pitched wail. "This is a lie. You're making this up. You've always been jealous of me, Mia. You want to ruin my life." She looked wildly around the room, searching for an ally, finding none. My dad, who looked like he'd aged 10 years in 5 minutes, finally spoke. "Chloe," he said, his voice flat, "is this true?" Chloe burst into tears, the crocodile tears she'd perfected over the years. "No. Mia's just trying to hurt me. She's always hated me." I clicked one last time. The projector displayed a montage of screenshots, old texts where she belittled my career choices, photos of her wearing my borrowed clothes, Mark's social media posts confirming their relationship right after I told her I liked him. Even an old text of her complaining about having to be my maid of honor. "This isn't about me hating you, Chloe," I said, looking at her with a clarity I hadn't felt in years. "This is about you refusing to grow up and continuously hurting the people who care about you. You're not my maid of honor. You're not even invited to the wedding. You're done." Chloe stood up so abruptly her chair scraped loudly across the floor. "I hate you, Mia. I hate all of you," she screamed, before storming out of the restaurant, slamming the door so hard the glasses on the tables rattled. Silence. A profound, aching silence filled the room. My parents stared at the empty doorway, then at me. Liam gently took my hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "I'm so sorry, Mia," he whispered, his eyes filled with compassion. My mom finally broke the silence, tears in her eyes. "Mia, I had no idea." Dad just shook his head slowly, looking utterly defeated. "We've been so blind," he murmured. The rest of the night was a blur. Liam's family were incredibly supportive, apologizing for Chloe's behavior and reassuring me. Martha hugged me tightly, telling me she was so sorry for believing Chloe's lies. My parents, for the first time, seemed to truly see Chloe for who she was, not the innocent little sister they'd always protected. They were heartbroken, angry, and ashamed. The next day, Chloe called me, furious, demanding I apologize to her and begging me to let her be in the wedding. "Everyone's mad at me, Mia. You ruined everything. You have to fix this." I just laughed, a genuine, joyful laugh, for the first time in a very long time. "No, Chloe," I said, "I didn't ruin everything. I saved it." Then I blocked her number. My wedding was beautiful. Perfect. Sarah stepped up as maid of honor, and my parents, chastened but supportive, were there. Chloe wasn't. I haven't spoken to her since. My parents tried to reach out to her, but she refused to talk to them, blaming me for destroying her life. Honestly, I don't care. The weight that lifted off my shoulders that night was immense. For years, I had carried the burden of her bad choices, her manipulations, her constant need for attention. But now, I was free. I finally had my happiness, and it was entirely mine. And seeing her face when that projector screen lit up? Absolutely, unequivocally priceless. Wow, what an incredible journey for Mia. From years of silent suffering to a moment of fierce, unshakable justice. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the hardest decisions are the most necessary for our own peace. Now, I want to hear from you. Was Mia's public exposure of Chloe at the rehearsal dinner justified, or was it too harsh? What would you have done in her situation? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If Mia's story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.